In Waco, Texas, Branch Davidians suffer a horrific death by fire. In Uganda, hundreds of victims are burned to death. Is it cult suicide or murder? In San Francisco, members of the Church of Satan perform a black mass using a nude woman as an altar. In San Diego, tennis shoe-clad initiates lay dead, believing they have gone to a better place. Who are these people? What drives them to participate in acts that society calls madness? What secrets lie inside the world of cults? In its simplest form, a cult is a group of people disillusioned by mainstream religions and drawn together by a new philosophy.
Cult is a word that we use to apply to religions that we don't like. A cult is simply a church in seed form.
But before gaining legitimacy, many new religions are perceived as possessing cult-like characteristics because of their curious rituals and peculiar practices. Cults almost always have a charismatic leader, someone who makes members feel that nothing is more important than the group. Each generation creates its own definition of cult, from just another religious sect to fanatical extremists operating on society's edge. Contrary to common belief, the origins of cults date back thousands of years. The term cult comes from the Latin word cultus, which means to worship. In ancient Greece, one of the world's first known cults worships a popular drink, alcohol. It's called the cult of Dionysus, named after the Greek god of wine. It begins as a way for Greeks to celebrate the grape harvest, meaning a fresh batch of wine is on the way.
What people would get from the cult of Dionysus is basically release. A release from all the stress and pressures of knowing what the state is going to do about upcoming invasions, the stress of their personal lives. The Dionysus festival is this time that you could just let everything hang loose. And it's okay, because you're in the service of the god during this time.
At the same time, other cults in the ancient world search for more spiritual enlightenment. Originating in Egypt, the cult of Isis becomes prominent throughout Greece and the Roman Empire. Members worship a female deity, and women serve as religious leaders. The cult of Isis forms first as a slave religion, offering solace to disenfranchised members of society.
Sometimes you would call on Isis for emotional purposes, and sometimes you would just call on Isis because she was that mother figure, the goddess. So the issues of fertility arise and having children and childbirth.
Though they are pacifists, some practice self-castration to preserve purity. Others in the cult starve themselves to death to cleanse their spirits.